Lisa, how's it going?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I want to thank you for hopping on a Zoom today with me so that I can record this for everybody else out there who's looking to kind of get an idea of the process of what it looks like when someone starts to work with me. Um, so you and I have been working together now for a little over a few months. We're on a new phase, a new chapter today, right? Because we finished our
Yeah,
coaching sessions up. But can you share a little bit with everybody about, you know, I guess why you sought out a coach? What was it that drove you to seek out a coach and guidance?
sure. I've spoken to professionals a lot over the years to try to see why I am the way I am, kind of hide myself. Um, and it just never clicked. And working with Cynthia, our friend, with
Mm-hmm.
Reiki and
Yep.
talking with Cynthia and doing Reiki. And I've been following you for a while.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's true.
I
Yeah.
have. I've been with you for a while and, going back and forth. And I was like, you know what? There's just something about this guy. It's just, I got to meet him. I got to talk to him. And I made the appointment and I came in and it was like, it was a click.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my God, I feel comfortable. It's just, you have this aura about you that you're a safe spot.
I appreciate that.
And it's talking to you and to get your point of view in different situations that I've gone through and to hear it from your perspective, it kind of like hit home. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Repeat that. And it made me look into my relationships, my family, to see like where you are coming from, where I am. And it kind of, the puzzle pieces started fitting together. And it's just like, my God, my puzzle's being complete because this is like the missing link of how to rationalize situations or see where it's coming from and then put our teachings into play.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot. I mean, but I'll tell you, it's the best work I've done. I feel more confident about myself. I can, if I'm in situations and I'm hearing things, I'm like deciphering it and realizing where it's coming from the person, so I
Mm,
can react differently. And I can say, okay, this is coming from here. And I kind of deep back into my, dig back,
sure.
take a breath, get into my breath, and then process.
There you go.
And it's like, whoa.
So I
It's
guess
incredible.
what were some of the biggest struggles or challenges that you faced before working with me?
Um, Always doubted myself, always having self, like I wasn't worth anything. I was worthless. Um, the way people would like take advantage of me and realizing that I I'm a people person, but I'm too much of a people person pleaser. And that leaves me in the hole that I'm not taking care of myself.
So
And
basically, and I don't mean to interrupt, but basically what you're
no, go
saying
ahead.
is that was affecting your like your happiness, your well-being.
Everything. Yeah, just everything. It's just, I needed to find who I was in myself.
Mm,
And I think I was looking by me helping other people, it was filling the hole that I needed in myself.
right.
And it's just like, I'm finding my purpose. I'm finding who I am and dealing with going through you with my past trauma, what happened in my past. And it's just like, that's a lot of where everything came from. But now learning to let go of it and realizing things weren't my fault, things happened for a reason, and growing from it. And finally at 55, it's like I don't feel like I'm suffocating anymore. I can breathe.
Right.
And that's like huge.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a big
it's
deal, especially after not being happy for such a long period of time to get to that
it's
point.
just and to dig into the past from a childhood and to see how much trauma from my childhood was molding me as an adult and facing those fears and letting them come to the surface and be like, oh my God, it's just, I have a tattoo that says breathe. And it's like, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I can breathe.
That's huge.
It's,
That's huge in and of
it's,
itself, you
yeah,
know?
it's,
So what was, give me one, two, maybe key breakthroughs or realizations that you had during our time together. Like, and I know you mentioned like, your belief system, having more confidence in yourself. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
growing up the belief system, it was like, growing up in an Italian family and,
I
having
feel
people,
you. I
you
feel
know,
you.
yeah. And I mean, I love my nonna daily, but it was always like, there's always time for you. There's always time for you. You do for the family, you do for the family. It's always been instilled in me. So
Right.
that's why, like, being married, having kids, it's like, do the house, the kids first, this first, that's, there's always time for you.
Sure.
And then, like, when I try to make time for myself, I hear the voices in my head going, what are you
It's always about
doing?
everybody
You gotta do
else,
this, you gotta
right?
do that, you gotta do this, the kids need this, the kids need that. It's like, well, I need you to do this. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, like I said, I love her dearly, when she was with us. But it's just growing up in that environment, and you bring it on to you with your adulthood,
Yeah.
and it kind of, when you, like when I first got married, like my friends would go out and, they go out and have dinner and this and that. Well, you got to come. It's like, no, I got the kids. It's like,
Mhm.
well, leave them with your husband. But it's like, that's my job. And that was like from my belief system from growing up. So it's like 9 years down the road, it's like, oh, I don't really have friends to go out with
Right.
because I dedicated my life to my family, which is great. And I would not change that for the world
Sure.
because they are my family, they are my life. But it's like, you see other people going out, oh, girls' weekend. It's like, okay.
So those were some of the
But
things that you had missed out on and kind of realized, made that realization that you missed out on. And now, how are you changing that around? How are you, I guess, flipping that around for yourself to give yourself a little bit more me time?
I go out with my mom, my daughter,
Okay.
we go get our nails done or whatever. And I'm starting to do time for myself where I love to exercise.
Right.
And it's like, that's just, I'm not one to sit down and read books. I like to do arts and crafts. I like to exercise and things like that. So it's like, you know what? I've done all this. I need it. This is what I'm doing for myself.
Right.
And it's just kind of put myself not down here, but up higher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a work in progress. I'm not, you know what I mean?
It's
It's
never
definitely
done.
it's definitely work in progress, but
Yeah. It's never done. And that's the thing. It's like we don't have to be chasing something constantly, but we have to realize that we will get to a certain point. We're better people. And then we can take a little breather. We can take some time off of always working on ourselves. But it's
right.
important to do what you've done and kind of dive deep into that, into yourself to figure a lot of those things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what tools or techniques during our sessions would you find the most helpful?
Talking,
Okay.
talking about different things, hearing like you coming from a man on different aspects and seeing how it kind of fits into like my home life. It's like, I don't really know how to explain it.
Was it more of like the connection between like you and your partner, you and your husband?
Yes. Yes.
Understanding that dynamic a little bit more from a male perspective?
Yes. And somebody who wasn't condescending, because you are not condescending.
No.
You are pure, you are natural, you are 100%. You will say it the way it is.
I'm kind of
And
blunt.
but it's human, it's real. You're not fake.
No,
And
I don't have
and
time for
that
that.
and that's just, it's eye-opening. And it's just like, holy shit. I can see things from your perspective, the way he was trying to say it, but it wasn't clicking. But hearing it from another
Mm,
man who's like been there and done that, it's like, whoa, wait, what?
yeah,
So it kind of opens my eyes a little bit.
right.
Um,
I mean, what it comes down to is, for a lot of men, it's difficult to express themselves in a certain way. And they have to go through the process of getting to where I am today, where I've done a lot of work on myself to be able to navigate emotions and put
mhm.
words to them that actually makes sense, and then I can communicate that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, me and my partner would have the same issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 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 great. And the going in the past when we did our sessions, going in the past and stuff, and bringing all that out to get out
right.
was just,
And you're
you
talking about
feel
the energy work that we
you
did.
feel it you feel it that made you work. You feel it stored
Yeah,
inside of you. You don't know like why you just feel so but
right.
then you go back and into your past and see like what's holding you back, and it's just like, whoa,
Yeah, it
okay. And releasing that was like incredible.
was a big deal for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Mm.
It was a lot.
So, you've said I'm blunt. It's good, it's raw, it's real for you, right?
It's
And I'm
real.
sure, people are always wonder, like when they start working with a coach, what was, I guess, the process? What was it like to work with me? And I'm not looking for any praise or anything, but like, just like, what
Yeah.
was it like to work with me and go through that process of working with a coach?
Well, don't ask if you don't want praise. I mean,
Well,
and
I
it's not
appreciate
even.
it. It's not what I'm looking for. I just trying to relate it and help people
It's
understand kind of the
it's
process of what happens in maybe some of the
it.
sessions and what they can expect.
Yeah, the sessions and the homework that you gave with the writing exercises to write your book as you were, and then changing it to writing your book the way you want to be. It delved into a lot of the past. It's like your belief systems, like we talked about, and going back and seeing like where your belief system comes from, and how was it growing up for you? What would have you changed? Where do you want to see yourself coming from now? Those exercises were huge, like because you had to sit down, and it wasn't just sit down, read and write. You sit down, you read it, you think about it, you process it, and then you express it.
Of course.
And it was just like some of the questions you'll read will be like, wait a minute, I don't understand. But
Mm,
then you slow down and read it again. And once you, I mean, the questions that are there, it's just like, whoa, I never really thought about that. And then to sit there and think about it, it's like, holy crap, I never realized that I was doing this or this is what was happening. And I never realized I was bringing it with me
yeah.
into my life now. And then it's like, to rewrite your story, what would you change? What do you want to change? And it's like, it's kind of hard because like you don't want to change the past because that is who you are, but
Mm.
you want to adapt it to who you are, if that makes sense.
It makes sense to me. Yeah. And
You know
basically
what
what
I
you're
mean?
saying is like, you don't have to define yourself from the experiences that you had in your past. It's not
Right.
who you are in your future. It doesn't have to be who you are or who you want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And those exercises taught me that. And it's just like, so I see life differently now.
Okay.
It's it's nice.
So I know that our coaching sessions, or just the coaching sessions in general, for anybody that I work with, get immersive. They go pretty deep and stuff like that. The time that we spend together too, because it's on a weekly basis, it gets
Yep.
immersive. We have homework, there's assignments, there's more work that gets done even when you're not with me during those coaching sessions. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
what would you, somebody out there right now who's struggling, what would you give them as a piece of advice to say, hey, listen, what is it that you would say to somebody that maybe was struggling with the same things you were, and what would you tell them to do?
You need, I always say you need to find the right person.
Yeah,
And it
agreed.
it takes a lot within you yourself to continue looking for that person. But once you find that right person, and thankfully that was you, because we had a connection, we could talk, and you made me feel like I was worthy, and you made me feel that you could help me, and through the process we were able to do that. If anybody else is in that situation, it you can't get hurt from it. It can only help you. If you want to feel better about yourself,
It's a good
and
point.
it can hurt you, go for one meeting, see how you feel. As soon as you walk in the room, you're going to know yay or nay. That's
You're
just
so
how I
right.
feel. You
You know
walk in
right
the room,
away.
like, it's like, I saw you, I was like, I'm like, okay, cool. And after the first conversation, I was like, whoa. But you know, it's like, I mean, you either walk in, it's like, yeah, bye-bye, turn around out. You
Yeah.
get the connection. And once you have the affirmation that it's a positive affirmation, you are going to go so far. You are going to feel so much better about yourself once you get into the worksheets and digging into why you are the way you are, why you do the things the way you do, and you come to realization that, holy crap, this is like how I was brought up, whatever, or what I've learned from different things, learned behavior, the belief system. And then you look back at it. Is this something you want to keep? Is this something you want to change? Is this something that's going to, if you stay this way, are you going to remain this way? Or do you want to adjust it and revolve from it and grow? So
Why did you try to do this work on your own?
I tried to do it on my own.
Okay, what happened?
I gave up on myself. And you didn't let me give up on myself
Mm.
because you encouraged me and you were there for me. And you were straight up front with, it's going to be a long process. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't quit.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you're never going to get the results you want. You're always going to be going backwards, or you're going to get so far and it's going to stop. And then you're just going to be in mud and you're not going to be able to get out of the trenches.
It's that
And
support
have
system, as a coach myself, I have coaches and mentors that I work with, so every one of us can benefit from having a coach.
oh
It's
yeah.
not all of a sudden I'm a coach and I don't, that's it, I'm good. No, I
No,
work with
you're always,
others too.
I mean, I can't say you're always going to have it because I'm not a coach, but
Right.
there's always going to be something that you're dealing with. And there's always going to be something that you're dealing with, but you're learning from it. And you may even
Always.
learn something from one of your clients, be like, holy crap, that's a
That,
revelation. I never, like, duh,
yeah, that's the biggest reward for me at
you know?
times, where I'll be sitting down with even you. I had breakthroughs myself. I was like, wait a minute, I can see that from a different perspective. So it really does, it's a back and forth relationship. And you're right, you do have to
Absolutely.
find the right person to be
Yeah.
able to do that with,
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful that, like, I hooked up with you. I kept the appointment. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Just because you make the appointment.
I know. A lot of people do that.
Because I did that when I had called you for the stretching. Because at
Right.
first I talked to you about the stretching and I
Mm-hmm.
canceled it.
Right. You did.
And then I was
You
like,
remember that.
yep. And then after talking to Cynthia and stuff, and then seeing you on Facebook, and I've been following you, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, just do it, just do it. And I was standing outside your door, and I'm like, and I'm looking down the hallway, and I'm looking around, and then I smelled the incense and everything, and I'm like, And I kind of opened the door and I peeked in. I was doing a little peekaboo. I'm like,
Right.
And I saw all the, all the decorations and everything. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like really soothing. I'm like, all right. And I stepped in, and I was glad. I'm glad I did. And my mom's glad I did. I mean, some of the things like when, you said people are going to be looking at you like, what's wrong with you? Like my mother's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what?
Right. Because you start changing that vibe, you start giving off that new vibe, and people are going to notice that. They're going to respond differently to you.
Yeah. I was like, you're all right. I'm like, yeah, fine. What? I have a voice. That's the problem. I have a voice.
Right.
So
we got a couple of minutes left, and I know we started a new chapter, and I know you said I definitely want to, say something about what I'm doing with you now. What did you decide to go into after our coaching sessions?
Okay, so I decided to do the stretching. And the first thing that I wanted to see you for, and I backed out, so I decided to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
The somatic stretching and the stretching and the breathing and all that. And that's a workout. So if you think, anybody watching this, if you think a stretch is just a stretch, oh yeah, stretch your leg, no.
Right.
Nope. It's a stretch, it's a twist, it's a burn, it's a hello. But
yeah, it'll wake your body up in a completely different way.
Oh yeah, like my legs were tingling. I was like, holy crap, I got a feeling in my feet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we've been working like on my hips and my lower back, because my lower back is where I store everything.
Right.
And it's been tight. Like, I mean, I've worked out and stuff, but it's always like a knot at the bottom of my back.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning I was lying in bed. I had my weighted blanket on me, and I had a blanket underneath, and I was rolled up in the blanket underneath. I'm like, what the hell? And I couldn't get out, and I'm fighting it. And all of a sudden I turned and my back went, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you
I'm like,
sent me a
oh,
text message and I was like, all right,
yeah.
that's exactly what we're looking for, is to
It like
for things to
snapped.
loosen up.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
crazy. And I
Yeah.
got out of bed and I was like, whoa, like my hips don't hurt. My back doesn't hurt. I'm like,
Hmm.
bent down and my hands touch the floor. I'm like, oh shit. Wow. Okay.
More
I'm like, I
flexibility,
gotta,
more mobility.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta
Yeah.
tell Mike. I'm like, I can't believe it. Like, and I was doing like a back bend down the wall. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, all right, don't overdo it. Then you're gonna,
Right.
that's all I need to do. Come in there tomorrow, be like, yeah, I was good, but I tried to be creative.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Lisa, it's been a pleasure, honestly, to work with you too, you know? So when you say you got to find the right person, it's not just the client finding the right coach, it's also the coach making sure they're working with the right client. I don't just take on any client. That's why I do that first initial appointment, is so that we can sit down, talk to each other, and make sure it's a good fit,
mhm.
because the session's going to get deep. They're going to get
Yeah.
immersive to the point where all of a sudden it's like, I'm gonna poke a little bit, you know, and I could upset you at times.
I didn't cry. What do you
You know, whatever. It's all good,
mean?
you know. We laugh about it now, but it's a
I
it's a
know.
deep process. So
It is a deep process. And for anybody that, I mean, if you're serious about digging deep into your past or helping your well-being and becoming free within you, it's the best thing to do. But it's a work in progress. It's a lot of work.
mm,
It's tough. But when you got the right coach, it's easy. You know,
thank
it
you.
it really it makes a world of difference.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to know you. It's a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. And same back to you. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for recording this with me today. So I will
You
see you tomorrow. Thank
see it,
you.
and we are ready for the stretch.
Right?
All right. Have a great day.
You too.